Hey everybody, this is Dale at IFoundAgent, and we're doing a webinar on your IFoundAgent navigating around your dashboard inside WordPress. It's some basics about how to do a blog post and a variety of a couple other things. So it's March 28th, 29th, 2013. And so we just logged in, or you should be at your login screen, and what I want you to do is open up a blog post. So we're going to do a new blog post, and when you come into your login, your dashboard, you're going to see post, add new, and what that's going to do is pop up a screen that looks like this. Okay, it may look, you want to pay attention to, are you in the text tab or the visual tab? So the visual tab is going to have a visual editor that looks something like this. So you're going to have all these different, center justify, right justify, bold, etc., etc. Okay? The text editor doesn't have any of that stuff the way it looks. You still have bold, italics, put in paragraphs, a page break, or a line break, sorry, and a variety of other things. And I'm going to mute you guys because somebody is doing stuff in the background. So I'm going to mute you. If you have a question, send me a text through the text in the editor, or in the over here. If you have you should have a text thing that you can send me inside the webinar. So I'm going to mute you guys. Okay. So you're going to have a text editor or visual editor. Good practice with your website is when you do a post, you actually leave the post inside the text editor. So you could do all your typing in, you could do all your typing here, but when you go to publish and leave your post, you want to click over to text. It will change what it looks like. Don't get alarmed. I'm going to show you something in a bit about that. But you want to typically leave in the text screen. Sometimes when you put code, like an embed code or different things you might come across putting in here, if you don't save it in the text or leave the page in the text and you come back in the visual, it'll wipe that code out. So if it's just text you're dealing with, that's fine. Images, that's fine. But if you get into a place where you're trying to put in other types of code and you don't enter into that page in the text editor, it'll bother your code a bit. So not a big deal, and there's a way to revert backwards if you have to, and I will show you that eventually as well. But for now, adding a new post. So I am actually going to go get a post from I have a subscription that I'm using on a particular website for this gentleman, and I'm going to go get that content now. So hang on one second while I pull that up. So one of the things you want to be thinking about while you're doing your posts is this, this here is very important. If you haven't gone to any of my SEO, webinars or seminars at a real estate office, or you didn't catch me at the GCTA Tech Summit, this specific entry right here, this serves a lot of functions for search engine optimization, as well as it serves a lot of functions. So I'm actually going to go show you where that populates. So wait is over for many to sell in Metro Phoenix. So if I go pop and look at that blog post, for example. So here's his blog post. So I'm gonna pop in and look at it. So notice I came into the text editor, and there's the code that shows this specific page. So this is a picture, okay? So what he's done is he's got a picture and he's aligning it in the right side. Now all of that's very easy to plug in. Don't worry about trying to write code. You don't have to write code, because you are going to do most of your work inside the visual editor. But just know that this will be what it looks like when you flip over into the text editor, and don't let it scare you, because here's where his real text starts. Okay? So here's his post. The housing market collapse left too many. Right there, the housing market collapse left too many. or left many to find. All right, so that's where he's doing his writing. Notice this is his title or his headline. Okay, so that's the headline of his blog post, which is right here. Okay, now what he's done, if you look up here at the, you probably can't see this, so I got to move this. I got to move my. Can you guys see this right here? I have you on mute. Can you guys see this title right here? Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I had you muted. Now, can you guys see this title up here?
Yes.
Okay, great. I think you guys said it for the third time, so thank you. Third time's the charm. Okay.
No problem.
So what Charlie's doing is a little bit of some advanced SEO work. So what he's doing here is, if you notice, I'm going to actually copy this out, and I'm going to go to a new blog post. So if you notice what I did, I hit right click. I'm using Firefox, by the way, but you can have multiple pages open inside your dashboard and do different things at the same time inside WordPress. It's pretty convenient, because I want to keep this one as reference, and I'm going to open up a new blog post, which is what I did. And now I'm going to paste his title in there because I want to show you what it looks like. Now, if you notice, this permalink just popped up. Okay, so when I open up this permalink, here's what it looks like. If you don't, I'm just popping open a text editor so you can see what it looks like. That's his full permalink for that specific blog post. But what Charlie did was, what Charlie did was he edited that permalink. Wait is over for many to sell. Okay, so this one says wait is over for many to sell, home in Metro Phoenix. Okay, if you're paying attention, that's the exact same phrase that's here. So what WordPress does is it takes your headline, converts it into the permalink of your blog post itself. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to make it the title up here. So in one entry, you take care of the three of the most important SEO aspects of any blog post or page on your website: the title, the URL, and the headline. Okay? Now, what Charlie's doing is he's doing some extra SEO work, and if Charlie said to me, Dale, is this sufficient? Is this satisfactory? I would say, actually, you went backwards a little bit in my opinion, because the work that he did, real estate market rebound means wait is over for sellers. And my question is, what sellers? Where? In what state? What city? What area? Right now, this blog post is competing at a national level for a national audience for anywhere in the United States. He's missing the mark with this title because he changed it. Smart to think that, but real estate market rebound means wait is over for sellers. I would add Phoenix, Tempe, Arizona, something in here so that you identify this title with your Arizona-based website. So same thing here in his URL. Wait is over for many to sell. Okay. Basically, what he's doing here is he's taking this keyword, because that's his main keyword, is what he's telling the search engines with this title. He's saying that he's taking it out of the URL. So now he's kind of gone backwards again, where he's fiddled with this. He doesn't identify Arizona, and then he comes down here and he takes it out of his permalink, and he still doesn't identify Arizona somehow, or his local market, right? So this is it. So now we have basically three. What he's kind of pointing out is wait is over for many to sell. Wait is over for many to sell. Like, that's his main keyword, not this. Okay, so this shows up 3 times. Basically, the wait is over for sellers. The wait is over for sellers. Like, that's the keyword that he's highlighting on. Right? Now, Charlie, I'm not picking on you. I'm just letting you know that you've got to line these three things up. And in WordPress, what I recommend to all of you on the phone, you're new to having a website, you're new to doing blog posts, don't get hung up in fiddling with SEO too much at this point in the game. You're not ready for that. What you're ready for is doing what this thing's doing. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm just gonna copy. Sorry, I'm gonna go here and copy all of his content, and I'm gonna drop it in this new blog post. By the way, I told you I was gonna go get some content, but I couldn't find it, so I'm just stopping. I'm just gonna basically republish this blog post, but then we'll yank it out really quick. Okay, so what this is doing now is I've put this title in, or this headline. So this is your headline of the blog post. It's the main headline. It's what's called, in the code, when we write main headlines, it looks kind of like this. You don't have to worry about it. I'm just doing a little education. So what it would look like is in the Google and the search engines, it's going to show up like this in the back end of your code. Sorry, this should... Okay, that's what it would look like if you looked at the code once we publish this blog post. Okay, but that's your main headline. You only want to have one H1 on any page of your website, or of any page inside your site. So kind of a little bit too much detail there. Sorry. So one headline. When I publish this, I'm going to publish it really quick. I'm just going to put it under general news. I'm going to show you what it does. So I publish it. Notice that once I publish it, it gives me an option here to view post. So instant gratification, I'm going to open up a new link and I'm going to view post. Now this is basically the same post for Charlie, but look at the difference. Now we have the title, wait is over for many to sell home in Metro Phoenix. Wait is over for many to sell home in Metro Phoenix. Wait is over to sell home in Metro Phoenix. Okay? Google has a pretty good idea now. They're not confused as to what this blog post is over. They're pretty sure wait is over for many to sell home in Metro Phoenix. Same with here, same with here. Okay? There's nothing to think about at this point. I think what you need to focus on is the habit and the progression, or getting into the habit of doing blog posts. Don't get too fancy on the SEO yet. All right. So on this blog post, wait is over for many to sell. You move down into the content, and that permalink automatically fills in. Okay. Now, what just a quick higher level would be, go in here and take out is like that. For, to, in, okay, wait over many sell home Metro Phoenix, right? Because what I did is these words here are called stopper words. That's a real high technical term. Google doesn't care about is, for, to, the, in, there's a variety of words, so like little words that are not real relevant to a keyword search. So Google doesn't pay attention to them. You can go in here and filter them out of here. I'm telling you, at this point in the game, develop the habit of blogging. Get 10 to 15 blog posts down before you move on and start tweaking with this area. You can if you want, but my recommendation, get the habit of blogging down first before you start getting into more advanced SEO tactics. But if you edit it, you have to click OK, and then you would update the post. If you edit this and you don't click OK and you go hit update, it won't update this permalink for you. It'll revert it back to the old version because this is like a mini save of that permalink. Okay, but we've already done it, so I'm going to leave it alone. Oh wait. Yeah, I've already saved it here. So I'm going to update my post. So right now, here's my permalink. I'm going to update. I'm going to go refresh my page, and notice that permalink changed. Okay, that's how simple it is to edit something like that. My title, this is the title, didn't change. My headline didn't change. Okay, so that's the process of getting your headline, your title, and your permalink to all kind of line up so that the search engines know. Now, if you came from another technology, like a superlative site or the other technologies that are out there, controlling this part of anything on your site was like 3 or 4 or 5 different steps typically. Okay? Now, excuse me. So what you're seeing is how easy it is to control the SEO as well as your title, your headline, and your permalink. Then you come down into here and you stick in your content. So you basically, I'm going to open up a new blog post. So we're going to say this, oops, my fingers are typing too fast. So we're going to move this to trash because I had a fat finger mistake there. So now we're going to add new. And we're going to say this is a test post on Charlie's site. Okay, I'm going to click into the text and notice the permalink filled in, and I'm just going to say the same thing. So this is a test of Charlie's site. Control C, I drop that in there, and let's see. I'm going to pick out a little bit of content. Look, this isn't boring, is it? All right. Okay, comma. So now this is my blog post. You might be asking, well, how many words do I need to put in here to make it useful to Google? What you want to do is put in somewhere at least 100 to 150 words, up to a maximum of about 350 words. WordPress gives you a word count, so pay attention to this as you're writing your blog post. Get it to at least 100 to 150, and then go up to 350. The reason why you stop at 350 is it's the maximum you should really write about for viewer attention, and it's probably, once you get much over 300, sort of the real gateway is about 600, but I like to keep it around 350 for optimum. It's enough words on this blog post for the search engines to know what you're writing about. If you go beyond that, they then, typically humans, we start to go into point number 2. So what you want to do is stop writing because you've just covered point number 1. You're transitioning into point number 2. Start a new blog post. Put point number 2 into another blog post with another keyword. Gives you an opportunity to put another blog post on. Okay? That's why you don't want to go crazy with writing. Also, think about it for yourself. When you go, hey Charlie, I know you're asking me questions about how you changed it. I don't know how you changed it, but we'll talk about it later, so don't worry about it, bud. Anyway, 350 words, point number 1, move to the next blog post for point number 2, okay? Also, from a user, if you think about reading somebody's blog post and you come up to something that's, 1,000 words long, are you really going to sit there and write it? Chances are you're not. All right. So the next thing I want to cover is pure content. So we go back to Charlie's thing here. Here's the blog post. The wait is over. When I look at this, how interesting is this to read? It's not overly interesting. There's a picture, not bad, but it's a long text. One thing you might consider doing is putting in some bullet points. So I'm going to go back to this post. This is the one that I'm working on Charlie's site. I'm actually going to I'm going to pop over to visual, and I'm going to show you two. By the way, this is behind these two boxes because of how I'm showing, because I've got the screen scrunched down a little bit. If I widen my screen, which you didn't see me do, it basically widens so that these don't cover. If you do it on a full screen, you're probably not going to have that issue, but realize that's why that's happening. Okay, so I need to move my screen back. Okay, so it overlays a little bit. Now, what you could do is say, you know, I know that, like, here's a variety of people sell houses for a variety of reasons, such as, I'm going to drop a colon in here, I'm going to hit the enter sign, and then I'm going to put in a bullet list. So if you notice, this is your bullet list. So right away, I've now got a new bullet. And if you go, it's just like Word. If you guys are familiar with working on Word, I'm sure you are. You just go in, drop your list in, and downsizing. Okay. Now, to end this, basically what you want to do is, I think no. Sometimes it's funky, sometimes it's not. Actually, yeah, there, that ended it. Okay. So now, there's my list. Now, why is that important? Because to a viewer coming to this blog post, if I refresh it, it's a little far down the page, but now there's a bullet point of important things for that reader to scan. Okay? I'm also going to make it bold. So I'm going to come in here and just highlight this, go up here to bold, bold it, save it. Let's go look at it really quick. Okay? There's my bold. Right? Now if I'm scanning, I can, oh, there's some bold down here. I can kind of go down and, because typically what you would want to do is, wait is over for many sell home in Metro Phoenix. Why is that? Well, job transfer, loss of employment. That's why people are selling. What you might want to do is say, why is the wait over? So what are the reasons why? Short supply, job market's improving, real estate property values are going up. So here are some other things that he could be highlighting, you know, to do something like reasons why the wait is over. Okay, now I'm going to restart my bullet point. As a result, rebounded, the median income price, okay, climbed a whopping 34%. Some zip codes grew. You know, that might be a reason. I don't know. I'm not quite dialed into the content of it. I would say jobs are coming back to the area. Okay, boom. There's my reasons. Again, I'm going to bold this because it gives the user something to look at. I'm going to update, come over here, boom. Now when I hit this page, I see reasons why the wait is over, and I know wait is over because that's the title. I come down here, the result, hey, this is interesting. I might be interested in buying a house in Phoenix now, okay, because I saw this bolded information. Oh, people sell because of these reasons. Whether that's something you want to draw attention to in a bullet list, that's up to what you're writing about, okay? Now, I'm going to put a new picture in here so that you guys see how to add a picture. Actually, I'm going to unmute and ask any questions with what I've done so far. You guys hear me?
You're obviously a genius, Dale. No one has a question.
This is Andrea, and I do have a question.
Thank you, Andrea.
Can you only do the bullet points, the bolding, when you're doing the edit of the post, or can you do it when you're adding a new post?
Oh, when you're adding a new post. Yeah, so here's my add new post, right? I'm writing in the text editor. You can actually do it in, what I would do is pop over, who's wrestling in the background here? Somebody's wrestling. All right, so I'm going to say, we'll just say the wait is over.
Oh, I see now. I see. Yeah, I see it up there on the.
Yeah. So here we would just go, boom. There's my right. Blah blah blah. Boom. Blah 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 blah. Boom. Blah 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 blah. Boom. I don't want that anymore. So now we're down to the next thing. Okay.
I understand.
Oh, well, I just wanted to finish the point. Now, what?
Dale, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Is the purpose of bolding and bullet points to make the content more interesting and keep their attention?
Yes.
Does that help with SEO?
No. Well, it does help with SEO to an extent because you're calling attention to the wait is over, and these are contained inside a special, like, you know, anything that's inside some type of an edited part of text draws attention. It gets a little bit of extra attention from the search engines to say, okay, they think this is important, right? Now, I can't tell you that, you know, there's 220 ranking factors that Google says are important on a page or a website. What percent bolded content has? I don't know. What you don't want to do is come into a post like this, bold, 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 because you think that's going to get you better ranking. What it's going to do is look stupid, and a reader's going to look at it and go, ugh, I'm out of here because this is not fun to look at. Okay, the old days, you know, 10 years ago, if you bolded keywords, it helped your ranking a lot. Google's and Yahoo and Bing and all those guys have gotten smart and said, no, that's kind of spamming us or scamming us or whatever you want to call it. You know, you got to make it make sense. Does that answer your question, Charlie?
Yes.
Okay, let me answer the other piece. The other piece is it's more interesting. So here's one post, right? Here's the other post. Which one's more interesting to you? Right? It's yeah. So
I don't really have to answer that, right?
no, you don't. And neither do the rest of you. Thanks for holding the court down for us. Okay. So next, what I want to do is I'm going to go grab a picture and show you what it looks like when we grab a picture. So I'm going to delete Charlie's picture. So
How did you delete that, Dan?
all I did was I clicked on it, one click, and I hit the delete button in my on my keyboard.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll figure out how the other day. I thought I tried that.
Well, here's this post again, right? So I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to drop it in this test post underneath here. Control V. Actually, no, that didn't work because I'm putting it in. So if you noticed, I put code in the visual editor, and all it did was put code in the visual editor, and that's how it'll show. If you're going to put code in, you actually have to put it inside the text editor. So I just popped over to the text editor. Control V. So there's my code. There's my image, right? So I'm going to hit publish. I'm going to view my post. There's my post. There's the image. So watch this. I'm moused over it. Sorry, can't do it there. Got way ahead of myself, guys. Sorry about that. I'm in my edit bar, right? I'm in my edit screen. I'm in visual, and I just mouse over it, and I'm going to left click once. See this little red circle? If you see it, it says delete image. Okay? I can click that, and it deletes the image. Boom, it's gone. Very easy to delete an image. Okay? Guys with me? Okay. Oops. I'm going to do another thing since we're on this screen. Basically, I'm recopying Control V. I'm putting that picture back in is what I'm doing. I'm just going to save this for a second. We'll see. So I'm going to update this post. I'm going to go back to visual. So my image is back in there because I just put it back in, right? So, you know, we might look at this and say, I think the image is too big. So again, you can left click, bless you, mouse over the corner here, and drag it down. Resize it. Very simple, okay? And that's a little too small. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Update. I'm going to view post. There's my post, okay? Now let's say I don't want the picture here. I want it on the first line, at the beginning of the first line. So I'm going to drag it up, click it, and drop it where I want it to be anchored. I hit update, go back to my post, I refresh it, and this will pop up there. Okay? Pretty cool, huh? Now, you're probably saying, well, how do I add an image? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to go where it says add media. And from here, we're going to say, so what Charlie has on here is he's got images already in his website. Okay? So I'm not going to fiddle with these at the moment. What I'm going to fiddle with is I want to go to a media library. I'm sorry, I'm going to upload files, and I'm going to go right to my desktop, and I'm going to go to my documents, and I'm going to say I've got iStock photos. So you just go locate an image on your, you go locate an image and bring it in. Okay, there's my image, it's loaded in. Alright, over on the right, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. You're going to want to change the title to the keyword that's relevant to the page you're working on. So we're going to just say this is a test post. Then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it in the alt text. Okay? And I'm going to say, I'm going to come down here a little bit more, and alignment. I want this, I like aligning things on the right. You might want to align things on the left. I don't recommend center because center looks goofy and your text doesn't wrap around center. So pick a left, pick a right. I always do things on the right. This link media file, you actually want to click none. Because what you don't want is when I go here and I look at Charlie's post, the post we're working on, when I mouse over that picture, if you can see the lower left hand part of my browser window, it's the very bottom where you guys, I think you can see. It actually shows where I go if I click. I'm going to click it, and it takes me to the photo. Okay? This photo is a page on your website. If you look up here, here's the domain. That's a photo. That now actually becomes a page on your website. It's indexable. And if you don't know what you're doing with setting these up, and I'm not actually going to cover that with you, you're going to get these pages showing up in the search engines that possibly somebody could come to from a search. They're going to get to this page and go, what do I do? So you're actually potentially going to hurt yourself. So what I do is when I put in a post, when I put in a picture, I don't link it to anything. Okay. Now, if I want to link it to, somebody's website or a particular place in my website, that's fine. But you don't want to link it to the media file. Take it off of there and just put in none. If I want to put in custom URL, it's going to ask me for the URL. And I'm going to say Walters Realty Group because that's the website we're working on. And then I'm going to say insert into post. And there's my image. Okay? Now, let's say now I'm looking at the image and I want to edit the image. Like you know what? I think this looks good as a left justified versus a right justified. There's two ways to do it. The easiest way is to mouse up here where it says edit image, and it's going to give you this screen. Notice it's a little bit different from the one I just showed you, but it's still Alignment, none, left, center, right. I'm going to change it to left. Notice that the demo showed it popping over to here. The title, I'm going to re-put the title back in because it didn't stay. And notice here you can link to the image that's linked to the media file. You can keep the current link, or you can click none. Watch what happens when I click none. It erases it. Okay. Now I'm going to update it. So now my picture goes left. Let's take a look at what this looks like. So we're going to update. We're going to go to the test post. Watch what happens here. Okay. I don't like the way left justified works in terms of text wrapping. To me, it's kind of goofy. So I'm going to go back here. My preference, I'm going to move it to the right. I'm going to come down here and say, oops. I'm going to say update. Now I have to go update my post. And refresh my page. And there's my page. Do you guys agree that looks better?
Yes.
Okay. That's why I do that. All right. It just to me looks better over the, I've done thousands of posts over the last 5 years, and it just, to me, that's the best orientation I've ever really come across. So that's how you insert an image. Any questions about the? Yes.
So this is Casey, by the way. Looking back at the insert image, when I click on insert image, you get the upload file and you get the media button.
Yeah, so I'm going to click add media. So you get that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So how did you get to your desktop?
You click upload files.
Right.
When you click that, there's a thing here that says select files or drop files anywhere to upload. Okay?
I don't have drop files anywhere to upload. I have just the select files button. And when I click that, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Any of the rest of you guys having that issue?
No, it should bring you all your files.
But is it doing that for you, Stacy?
No, it's just as if I was uploading on anything else. You hit select files and then your little thing comes up and you should be able to pull up any of your folders that you have on your desktop or anywhere else.
Is that what's happening for you though, Stacy?
No, I'm able to add a file. I'm able to add an image.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, Dale, it's just not allowing me to grab any other pictures anymore.
Okay. Casey, there might be something you missed in the step, and I might just have to work with you offline about that to see exactly what's going on with you. Actually, and forgive me, Casey, what's your URL now? What's your web address? That's right.
Yeah, CC Moving Agent.
Guess I really can't ask for your username and password, can I?
Well, you know it.
Well, I do. I'm gonna go get.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm gonna go look at posts really quick just to see. So I'm here, okay, and I'm going to click Add Media.
Right.
So you're not seeing this?
No, I see that. Now go to...
I'm going to do Upload Files.
Yep.
And I get Drop Files Anywhere to upload select files. You don't get this?
No, I'm logged in right now, and I just don't have that drop files anywhere. I have the select files button.
But you don't see this?
Right. That is not there on mine.
All right, let me check something really quick. Okay. If the rest of you guys are able to do that and see what I'm talking about, Casey, I'll talk to you after. We'll get that squared away and see what's going on your side. Okay. I don't want to get.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do it as you're going so I can visually understand.
Now, what you can do, so you All right, so let's go back to the add a new post. You get here. Do you have select files?
Yeah, I've got that tab, but when I click on that, it does nothing.
It does nothing.
No.
Okay, we'll need to figure out why that's happening.
Okay.
And it could be just in how your how something's set up in your browser. I'm not sure. Okay. Now, notice that there's a file size upload. There's an upload size limit of 1 megabyte. So what that's telling you is what we don't want you doing is uploading 5 megabyte photos into your WordPress website. Okay? So you'll need to downsize the size of photos you guys use inside your website. Because the reason why you don't want to put huge photo sizes inside your website, it slows down the performance of your site. You don't want huge megabyte photos loaded into your site. It just kills your performance. Okay? So we limit so that you don't get too crazy. What's that?
But video doesn't do the same thing?
They are, but they're hosted somewhere else. Where are they hosted? Yeah, you're just showing them on your website. You're not actually hosting them on your website. Okay? Yeah, if you came to me and said, hey, I want to upload this video to my site, we're going to tell you to go to YouTube. Okay? Now, that brings up a new question. So, Casey, I'm going to cancel out of here. We'll regroup with you after, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So, the other thing I wanted to show you is if you're here on this screen, you'll notice drop files anywhere to upload or select files. So what you can do is open up something like this. Open up your Windows Explorer if you're using Windows, or if you're using a Mac, I can't really tell you what it is. But if you're using Windows, you can open up Windows Explorer, go to where your photos are, and I'm going to drop into my iStock photos. I'm going to move this out of the way just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I can left click, drag, and drop it in there. Okay? See, it's uploading now. So there's the photo I just dragged in there. It put a copy in there. Okay? That's a way to do that. So there's a couple different ways. Once you get proficient and you want to open and just click and drag because you know you're going to put one in there, that's one way to do it. The other way to insert a picture into a blog post is to actually use the media library that's inside your WordPress site. You know, once you do 50, 60 blogs and you put a photo in each one, you might want to reuse a photo. So you can go back to when you go to, you know, I'm at the point where I want to add a photo. I come in here and I say, all right, there's my upload. I can either upload or I can go to the media library. It's automatically going to put you into the media library. So I'm going to click this one. I'm not going to do all this work here, except I'll right justify it. And I'm not going to link to that. I'm going to hit, I don't want to do full size. I want to do medium size. I'm going to insert in the post. There it is. I don't like it. It's too big. I'm going to resize it. And I want it to show down here somewhere. So I'm going to click, drag it to the beginning of my paragraph of where I want it to show up. I'm going to hit update. And I'm now going to go look at this post. This is the one. Yeah, that one's Charlie's. This is mine. I'm going to refresh. And I come down and there's my photo that I put in. Okay? Any questions about that? No? Okay. Do you guys believe me that it's easy? Except for Casey? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, next. What's the next thing you guys want to see?
Hits on my website.
Yeah, we're not there, Charlie. We'll come back to.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Now, I think what's important to show you, you guys might want to be doing video and uploading video or showing video on your site. So we use a program called Smart YouTube. It makes things easy for you. What you're going to want to do is log into your site and scroll down this sidebar. If you don't see this Smart YouTube at or near the bottom, you need to turn it on. The way you turn it on is you go to plugins and you go over to installed plugins. And you're going to come down here and you're going to see Smart YouTube Pro, and it's actually going to say activate, like this one. Charlie's is already activated, so his would say deactivate, okay? So you just basically, you hit that, you click activate, or you can come down here and click activate. There's a variety of ways to do it, or you could just not do that, just click activate. It'll activate that Smart YouTube Pro. Then you want to come back out and go into settings. A lot of you are starting to have us set these up, you're getting it set up ahead of time, but if it's not, it's okay. We just didn't get it configured. So what you want to do is come in and go, you want to come in and actually change that to parse links with HTTP as HTTPV. 600 by 338 is a good HD video ratio. I'm going to change this one. Actually, I'm going to change both of these. Now, my recommendation is fiddle around with these settings. You can't break it. You just don't want to go any wider than 600 pixels. So if you want to do it at 600 and 400 and kind of look at what that looks like on your website, feel free to come in here and fiddle with it. Okay? You really can't break it. Then this one I typically set at 250 by 141. Okay? You're probably going to be set up, if you just activate it yourself, it'll say include related videos. You're going to change that to say do not include related videos. And then most likely you're going to leave this as it is. You could say this loop videos if you wanted, or autoplay. I don't recommend autoplay at all. I don't like looping. I just would typically leave it. And then you're going to come down here and hit save, update options. Now you're ready to go upload a video into your posts or pages. So what I'm going to do is come back to one of our test posts. I'll come back to this one. And I know that I have a video on my website that I just put into YouTube. So I'm going to go to Charlie's website. He's already got some videos on his site, so I'm just going to go grab one. Oh, Charlie, we do this all the time, don't we? We actually haven't put this on your site yet. Post. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to Charlie Walter or Walter's. What?
What do you say we actually have done?
We've put a couple of videos into your site. We've embedded a couple of videos into your site.
Yes.
Like this one is in your site. So basically, we're in Charlie's YouTube channel, and here's the video. And there's a selection here where you can go about, share, add to. I'm going to click share because YouTube's going to give me this very easy to copy link to his video. Okay. Now I'm going to go back into my blog post, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to pop into text, and I'm going to drop it in the beginning of my video here. So I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to hit enter. So this is by itself. And then you have to drop in that little V for video. Okay? I'm going to hit update. Okay, my video should be there. Now I'm going to go out to my site. This is my test one. I'm going to refresh it. There's my video. Okay, and I've got it 600 pixels wide. And notice it's not starting on its own, which I can't stand it when I go to a website and the video starts loading right away. Maybe you like it, so set yours up that way, but I can't stand them. You'll notice 600's pretty well centered in here. You don't have to fiddle with that, and this looks about right. Any questions with that? Perfect.
No, but I have a comment. Remember, Dale, we had trouble making it work because I was slightly wider than 600 or something with load. So that's really important.
It's important, but let's just say for giggles, let's just go change. I want to show you what happens when you change it. So I'm going to go back down into here. I'm going to say 700. I'm going to come down here and update. Let's go back and look what happens. Well, that made a liar out of me.
Yeah, me too, because before it wouldn't even go up in the blog if it was too wide. I don't even remember that. We didn't figure that out.
Well,
It works now.
it's working. It's interesting that it's defaulting like that.
I noticed the play button's moving to the right. I wonder if it's cutting off part of the image.
Oh, right, so there's our line. Let's see what happens. 600. Somebody else might have already caught that and yeah, so our line was there. So that's actually what was happening, was we cut off a quarter of the video, 20% of the video. Okay, so everything fits inside if you keep it at 600. So any questions with that? No questions? Okay, so next what I want to show you is how to move things around in your menu, because I do get questions about menus from time to time. I'm going to fiddle with both of these menus. You may or may not have a menu that's got things in it up here, and all of you have something that's located in here. So I'm going to go show you how to fiddle with menus. So when you're inside your dashboard, you come down to Appearance, and in Appearance you're going to see something called Menus. You click that. Here is your different menus. So you're going to have a primary navigation and you're going to have a secondary navigation. Why I'm telling you is there's a primary navigation here and there's a secondary navigation here. If you click this and look at it, you can actually change what menu bar shows up in your primary navigation menu. Okay? We set them all up pretty much primary, secondary, so that you can keep track of them. All right? So here we are. We're looking at home search, customize my search, Buena Vista. So he's got a couple of child drop downs underneath Tempe homes for sale, buyer, Phoenix area map. All right. So Charlie wants to. He doesn't like where this custom search is located. So Charlie decides, I want to move this up and put it on the main menu. Okay. Now how I did that was I left clicked, held my click, and I dragged it to where I want it to go. Okay? Once you do that, you got to hit Save Menu. And we're going to go look at Charlie's site. So I'm going to refresh. You'll notice I now have a custom search, customize my search on this menu, and it's not there anymore. Charlie says, I don't know if I like customize my search. I want to call it personalize my search. So I click into this little down arrow right here, and it gives me a thing called navigation label. What I do is I just change this to say personalize my search. Again, I hit Save Menu, come out to the site, refresh, And now it says personalize my search. Beautiful. Okay. Now Charlie says, I'm still not happy with that. I don't like it on this main menu. I want to put it up here to the right of these, these options. So Charlie goes back here, and what he does now is he's going to come in here. He's going to delete it. He's going to remove it. Okay. And what he wants to do is, when you remove a page or you remove what's called a custom link, you want to know how to get it back. So or how to put it in again. So I know this is a page. This is an IDX page. So I'm going to hit remove. I'm going to hit save. Just take you out so you can see what it looks like. So I refreshed. Personalized search is gone. It's not in there anymore. So there's no, I'm not doing any tricks or magic here. But now I want to put it in, we said we wanted to put it in the secondary navigation. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click secondary navigation. And you notice there's my navigation bar that's up above, right? So I took it out. It's actually something called property search. So here's all the pages in Charlie's website. These are pages, not posts. So what I want to do is view all pages if you want to go find them, or most recent, like if you put a new page in, excuse me, if you put a new page in, it always shows as the most recent page. So I'm going to put in property search, and I'm also going to put in this, do you know the value of your Tempe home? I'm going to drop this in. So I clicked add to menu. Notice that they just showed up. Okay? And I'm going to save the menu as is, and I'm going to have Charlie freak out because you guys are all going to do this mistake. I guarantee you're going to do something like this. Okay? Where's my property search? Where'd it go? I want it. Now notice it's not there. Okay? That's because I don't have room for it in here now. So what I need to do is, this is too long. Okay, so what I want to do is go in here and say, let's see, what do we want to say?
Check the value.
Check home value. Okay, check home's value. So I'm going to hit save, and we're going to come back to the website and see if that shows up. There's my property search. There's check home's value. Pretty simple. Now Charlie says, I want to put things back the way they were. So how do I do that? I come back to my secondary navigation. I'm going to delete this, remove. I'm going to delete this, remove, and I'm going to save. And for the sake of going back to the home page and putting it back the way it was, I'm going to go back down here and I'm going to click this page, add to menu, and it always shows up at the bottom. So you just left click, drag and move it up there. Sometimes you have to kind of jimmy it up there, and Charlie had it say customize my search. So I'm going to change that, and I'm going to hit save menu. Now I'm going to go back to his site and we're going to refresh everything. So I'm back to his home page. Notice these two are gone, and when I go back to home search, there's customize my search. So I'm back to where I was originally. So all that fiddling around with the menu, very easy to go back to it, no problem. So here we are. Let's now say Charlie wants to link to an external website, for example. So, or now let's say Charlie wants to link to an external link somewhere, or he wants to put in a special link right to a page in his website. So what you do here is you do what's called a custom link. So I'm going to link to I'm going to link to a website called Mesa.com. And I'm going to put in a title called All About Mesa. Now, I'm going to click Add to Menu, and I'm going to scroll down, and there it is. So I like where it's located. Charlie likes where it's located. So he goes in and he looks at it, and there's the link, All About Mesa. And if I click it, it takes you out to Mesa, Mesa.com. Okay? Charlie decides, it's a bad idea, because I will say to you, do not link off of any of your main menu tabs to any other buddy's website except for your own. It's just bad practice, because he's giving away a lot of link juice inside Google to go to Mesa.com. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to take that out, or I can edit it. I can come in here and edit in this drop down. So maybe I just want to do Walters Realty Group and leave it at that. I'm still going to say all about. I'll still do all about Mesa. We'll just, now let's change it to Tempe, for example. I'm going to hit Save Menu, go back up here, refresh, and now it says all about Tempe, but if I click it, it takes me right back to the home page of Charlie's site. After all, now I'm looking at it, I'm Charlie, I think this is a dumb idea, I'm going to remove it, I'm going to hit Save Menu, go back to my site, refresh, and there it's gone. Okay? So it's not there. I don't have to fiddle with it anymore. But that's how you do. Charlie, yeah, well, is this your main YouTube channel, Charlie?
Yeah,
It is.
it is.
Okay.
But I subscribe to others, trying to get people to
Gotcha. Okay.
click on videos and be like, that's showing all the other stuff.
That's what I want. Copy. So I'm actually going to go fix something on your site while I'm in here, because so I'm going to go fiddle with something in Charlie's header a little bit. So this is a little bit advanced, but let's say you guys, let's say you want to add a YouTube channel because you don't currently have one, or you want to put in a Pinterest link, or you don't have Twitter but you've just started tweeting. Where you would go to do that is you'd either email us or call us, or you can go try do it yourself, which is what I recommend. So you would go into, so this is in his header, okay, this is the header area. You come into header, social media, all right, in here he's going to click, he's going to click social networking. And then now I see there's Facebook, there's Google+, there's Twitter, and should be a YouTube in here. It's not a YouTube in here, so let me. Where's your YouTube, Charlie? That's why it's not in there. All right, so I will get that put in. Point being, what you would do is you would come in and drop it in here. So for this specific instance, Charlie, we got to put the YouTube stuff in there for you. I don't see it, so I'm going to put a note in to get that done.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, it's 11:15. I want to make sure I get to some questions, because we've covered how to do a blog post, how to put a picture into a blog post. Oh, I forgot one thing on the blog post. So this is Charlie's original blog post. So one of the things that you want to do, I get actually two things more that I'm going to show you. One of the things you want to do is all blog posts get dumped into what's called categories. Okay? So when your site's set up, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 categories. You're going to want to start assigning blog posts to different categories. So Charlie's got general news, buyers, tips for home buyers, housing report, property sellers. Okay, so this one is about, I would say, general news. Okay, so Charlie assigned it to the specific general news category. What you don't want to do is go like this and assign it to all of them. Okay, because it doesn't do your website any good. Users don't like to find the same blog post in every category. They just don't want to do it. Let me take a note. YouTube into Walter's Realty Group. Okay, set up category widget. Okay, so Charlie put it into general news. We're going to leave it in general news. Okay, we're going to update it. Then at the end of what you'll see is on Charlie's blog post, I think that's Charlie's original one. Okay, so there's Charlie's original blog post, and so that's Charlie's original blog post. What Charlie's done, when you go to the bottom of it, Charlie's got a form. He's got in what's my home worth. So he's basically written this to sellers, is kind of what I'm getting. So he's put in what's my home worth. He's put in a form here. I like this strategy because it doesn't make the visitor to your website click a button to do anything else. Charlie's already asking them, hey, if you want to find out the value of your home, click or fill this form out. Okay, how Charlie did that was he got to the end, and you'll notice right here there's a little button. It's going to say add gravity form. So I'm going to get to the bottom of Charlie's post. Sorry about that. And I'm going to get rid of these two things because I don't need those. And I'm going to add a gravity forms. All right. So here I am. I'm going to click this, and it opens up insert a form. So I'm going to select a form. Charlie's got a variety of forms in there. Most of these are forms that we install in your site when we set up your website. So there's the registration form that pops up when people click around your site. There's the schedule to see this house that's on the IDX page. There's speak with an agent. There's talk to a financial expert, which is on the widget for it's in the search by budget. Have you guys all seen the search by budget form or feature?
No.
No one. So not everyone's seen that yet. No. Okay. Who's saying no? Lolly, Andrea, Kieran. All right, we'll show it to you. You guys might have seen it. You're just forgetting about it. Because most of you, I think, have it. You all should have had it installed on your site already. Okay? There's a talk to a financial expert. There's a welcome from Craigslist. And there's what's my home worth. Most of these get plugged in when you guys get your sites from us. All of these actually get plugged in. If you were Casey, you might not have this one. Are you still with us, Casey? Okay, you might not have this one because this one came in after I think you got your website. So I can let you know about that one in a little bit. But what it does is if you're trying to use Craigslist, we can plug in a form into your site that'll automatically know when somebody's coming from Craigslist to your site, and it'll pop up a registration form for them. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, no, it's not in my drop down.
Okay. So what you're going to want to do is just select a form. So what Charlie selected was what's my home worth. Now, you can get rid of a couple of things. I'm going to get rid of form title and display form description. And I'm going to hit insert form. Okay, now, if you look, Charlie's is set up slightly different. Okay? He did not deselect any of this stuff. and I'll show you what the difference is. So title false, description false. So I'm not going to display those in the form that I plugged in, and I'll show you what the difference looks like. So we're going to go to Charlie's post. So Charlie left in the title and the description. And I'm going to scroll down, and now you're going to see my form. Address is the beginning of the boxes that the user can fill in, but there's no what is my home worth, and there's no fill out this information. Okay, so I'm not loading those in. Where that's important is if you say, you know, complete the form below, we'll get back to you, and you don't think it's necessary to have these in there, that's how you take them out. Okay? Because you're already setting the user up by your last sentence to use the form below. You don't necessarily need what's already in the form when the form was set up inside the forms editor. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. If it doesn't, you know, get back to me and we can cover it again somehow, or we can cover it again. Now let me show you forms really quick, because that's probably something you.
Before you, Dale, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think I figured out how I changed the SEO. I watched your other webinar video.
Yeah.
And down below in the title.
Yeah, you did it here.
Scroll down.
You did it here.
Yeah. So my custom title. Do I want that to be the same as the title of my article? Is that how I change that?
Yeah. What I would do is just go down here, and I would just delete this out like that. Okay? That's what I would do.
Okay, so I shouldn't be filling in the custom document title?
I wouldn't change the title yet. I wouldn't change that. What I would change is the meta description, and this is a brief summary of what your post is about. And then I wouldn't fill in meta keywords. What I would do is take this list, and you only want to have about 5 to 10 of them, maybe 2 or 3, 4, something like that. I'm going to copy them all. I'm actually going to take them out of there, and I'm going to put them in tags. And I'm going to go Control V, I'm going to back up, and I'm going to go add. Okay, now I've added those keywords that you add as keywords. I added them as tags instead. Okay, the search engines don't use keywords in the code anymore like this is designed. They don't do this anymore. So they don't pay attention to it. But they do pay attention to tags. So I would drop your keywords into a tag. And this is fine. You got 4 keywords here. That's perfect. Okay. Don't fill out this, the custom canonical URL or the custom redirect URL. Don't worry about any of those. None of the rest of this stuff applies. But what's a good idea is to fill out this meta description, and even come down and drop that meta description into what's called the excerpt. Okay, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with how your website's set up. So we're going to come back to this in another video about the excerpt and the meta description. But for everybody on the phone call of this webinar, this is the as far as you want to go. Title, headline, permalink, content. Skip this. Put in a brief description of what it is. Put in a category. Put in your tags. Your tags are relevant keywords to what this article is about, or this blog post is about. Okay? Now, let's say I write a post that I don't know, I don't see a category in here that's relevant. Okay? So I want to just do a quick add. I'm going to add a new category. And I'm going to call it Phoenix Real Estate News instead of general news. So I'm going to hit that, add new category, and you'll notice it popped it up there. Okay, I had already put it into general news, so it's in there already. I have to change it if it'll basically be blank, and if I don't see a category, I add a new category, it'll automatically put it into that new category like this did. Because we had already selected general news like that, I have to deselect it, okay? And then I can then I hit update, and it puts it in the way I wanted to put it in. But I'm not actually going to flip around Charlie's information. One thing I see that's missing in Charlie's site, which is relevant, it's not overly relevant right away if you don't have too many blog posts, but once you get more than a couple blog posts, you're going to want to come into installed plugins. I'm sorry, you're going to want to come into appearance widgets. And in the primary sidebar, what Charlie's missing is a category page. So I'm going to come in and drop in categories right above his recent posts, okay? And I'm just going to say past news or something like that. You can put in whatever you want. I'm going to save it. Now I want to show you what that looks like on Charlie's site. So here's his current post. By the way, I've taken my form out, so you won't see this second form anymore. So you guys might have seen that. So here's Charlie's latest posts coming through the recent post widget that's in his primary sidebar. Okay. Now I just put in a new widget that's called categories, but it also, I called it past news. So I'm going to refresh, and you'll notice all his categories are now showing up. Okay. If it's not already in your sidebar, you're going to want to add that to your sidebar once you get some categories into your web, or get some blog posts put into your website. So now the visitor can come in and go, oh, I want to read about housing reports, and I click it, and basically that takes me to the housing report article or post that Charlie's got in here. Now, you know, in 4 months he might have 10 of these in here that'll scroll down here. All right. So just make that addition. Notice it's not here because that's an old, you know, that was something we were playing with earlier. Now it's in here. So Charlie's got past news, which is the categories widget, and recent blog posts, which is sorry. So here's his primary sidebar. I put in category, so it's over here. This categories widget, you just left click, drag it over, drop it. Now let's say Charlie wants it first. So you just click and drag it and move it. If you notice that little thing right there, when I moved it, updated it and saved it. Okay? So now I go back to my website. I'm going to just refresh this page, and you'll notice past news moved up. Okay? So important to know that you can go into the widgets. Your primary sidebar is where you're going to fiddle with every page except for your home page. Okay, we're not going to cover home pages today because it's about 11:30. So I just want to sort of end what I'm teaching you and start answering some questions really quick. So I'm going to put this back to where I think it should be. It's now updated. And the other thing I want to do is go. So I'm going to open up the floor here for questions, and I'm going to stop my recording. So